Okay, hi guys. Alright, I'm here doing Noreen's hamburger bun recipe. I was asked by a subscriber of mine and a friend of mine, I think on Facebook too, if I would go ahead and show how I make them. I am going to link you down in the down bar to Noreen's video on how to make these, because she's, you know, so much better than I am, and this is her recipe. But I tried her recipe. I absolutely love it. My kids loved it. My husband loved it. It made the softest, just the most delicious homemade hamburger buns. I've tried to make hamburger buns using just my white bread recipe and, you know, kind of making rolls, but they're really hard and they're kind of crunchy, you know, they're like a dinner roll. And which is fine. I mean, you can have like barbecued pulled chicken or a hamburger on a bread roll, but sometimes you just want a soft bun. So I found Noreen's recipe for this is absolutely perfection. So I'm going to go ahead and follow her recipe on how to do this. Let me grab some water here. You're going to need 1 cup of warm water. I'm sorry if there's a bunch of noise in the background. I'm washing baby diapers. I am going to do a review on some bum butter that I've been trying out that's safe for cloth diapers, so look for that video if you cloth diaper. You'll want to watch that. But alright, so 1 cup of warm water. So we're just going to go ahead and add 1 cup right into our mixer. And I don't know how well you can see inside my mixer. I might have to adjust that camera a little for you. We're going to do 1/4 cup of sugar. So let me grab my 1/4 cup here. And we're going to put 1/4 cup of sugar. We're going to go ahead and add our yeast. I should have done that first, but that's alright. We are adding 1 tablespoon of yeast. I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle that right on top. Let me see if I can get you over here to see what I'm doing here. And then we're going to add to this, I'm trying to use my husband's flip camera and his tripod, which doesn't make for the best, I don't know, video setup, I don't think. Anyway, alright, so 1 egg. So we're going to go ahead and crack 1 egg in here. I'm going to put that on. And Noreen says go ahead and, I want to make sure that my setting, it's one problem I have with this, if I had any complaint on this KitchenAid mixer, would be that screw adjustment that adjusts the height of the bowl so that this doesn't scrape the bottom. It always seems to move. So we're just going to go ahead and just kind of let that beat itself up a little bit. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add 3 cups of flour. Now I am using bread flour because I just like the way bread flour turns out now that I'm getting used to it. But you can go ahead and use all-purpose flour too. It's 1, 2, 3. And then Noreen says to always have an extra cup handy in case you need it. Last time I did not need it. It actually came out perfect for me. So I will have that on hand just in case. And then we're also going to go ahead and add 3 tablespoons of softened butter. I'm just going to plop that in. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of salt. Bring that right back up. And go ahead and blend that up. And again, once it starts kind of coming together, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get my timer ready for 5 minutes. When this all comes together, I will start timing, and I will let this knead out for 5 minutes. You can also do it for 7 minutes, depending if your dough needs it or not, but I'll just wait for that to incorporate itself into a nice dough ball. Usually when I start seeing it not sticking on the sides anymore, that's when I start my timer. Now when you're testing this, you want to make sure that the dough, it's going to be a little stickier than normal dough, but you don't want it sticking on you. You don't want it to, you want to make sure too you have clean hands when you're doing this. And mine feels just the slightest bit sticky, so I'm just going to add a little bit more flour to mine. You can always add a little bit. It's harder to take it away once you start, you know, adding flour and then adding water, and you end up with like just a mess. So if it's just a little too sticky for you, go ahead and add just a little bit of flour. At least that's what I do. And then I'll let that incorporate, and then I'll test it again. I'm just going to give it another feel. And that feels a lot better to me. Still a little sticky, but you can definitely apply it and it doesn't stick to your hands, and that's what you want. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to actually reset my timer, and I'm going to let it knead now for 5 minutes, now that I've got it the way I want it. And so after this is kneaded, I will be back and show you what I do next. Okay, so timer has gone off. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. And I'm going to show you what this what this dough looks like here. Let me get this off of get the dough hook off. And lift this. And I'm going to go in my box. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and scrape the dough out. And you'll see that the dough might not look like a lot, but it's going to rise into something big and beautiful. Now this makes, I want to say, good 8-size buns for me, to where everyone just kind of eats one burger or one. Mason, what are you doing? Are you fighting with my blinds? Or this makes like one really good size hamburger bun, or like tonight, barbecued pulled chicken or barbecued pulled pork sandwich. So if you need more than that, you're going to want to double the recipe. And every time I double a recipe, I never do it in my KitchenAid, just because, I don't know, it just seems to work out better when I make single batches. So I'm going to go ahead and spray my bowl. You can use Pam. I use just a non-stick spray from GFS. And then we're going to go ahead and dump that in. We're going to spray the top as well. This is going to keep it from drying out. I'm going to put a bonnet on it, which I keep right in here. By the way, if you get this ice cream, my husband got this ice cream. I made him save the container for me because it makes a great little storage place for my little baking bonnets. So keep that in mind every time you find something good to use. So I'm going to go ahead and put a cover on this. And I'm going to let this rise. Now this is going to rise. I'm going to put it in my oven. I'm going to put my oven light on and lower the rack here. This is going to rise for 90 minutes, a lot longer than normal. So keep that in mind when you're making dinner ahead of time. Like right now it's 1:30 in the afternoon, but I want to make sure that my dough and my bread buns are, or my hamburger buns are done in time. So keep that in mind. It kind of takes a long time to to bake or to rise and all that. So our second rise is going to be 60 minutes. So allow for plenty of time to do this recipe. Alright, when that rises after 90 minutes, I'm going to grab my timer here. I'm going to stop Mason from attacking my my blinds over there. And when this beeps and it's been an hour and a half, I'm going to come back and I will show you guys the next step. Okay, it's been 90 minutes and our dough is all set. You see it's doubled in size. And it's a really, I don't know, for anyone who makes a lot of dough, you notice that this one's really soft and shiny. So I really like the texture and the consistency of this one. So we're going to go ahead and deflate it. Again, making sure your hands are nice and clean for this. You do not want dirty hands. And you'll notice too that this dough is a lot softer, a lot, I don't want to say sticky, it's not really sticky, but it is a bit more pliable. I'm going to move all my stuff here, and hopefully I'm going to get this down enough. You guys can see this. Now you can slightly, and when I say slightly, I mean very little, put some flour on your board. You can roll it out. I don't ever roll mine out though. I just stretch it out with my hands. And really all I'm doing is just working out, you can hear the little squeaks, working out all of the air bubbles and getting a little bit of shape. Say hi, Zach.
Hello.
I got the kids coming home from school now, so. Okay, so once I have it the way I want, I'm going to go ahead and roll this up. And I'll make this into a log. Again, when you make your log, you just want to make it as even as possible, just so that all your pieces are pretty equal. And then you're going to go ahead and cut these. Now, like I said, I cut mine into 8. I like my hamburger buns a little bit on the big side. That way I can kind of overstuff them, and really one great size sandwich is enough for everybody. But that's up to you. And how I do it, let's see if I can grab the camera here. There's my roll. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it in half. Okay. Then I'm going to cut each side in half again. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut each one in half again. And that'll guarantee me that I have 8 nice even pieces here. Then what I do is, again, I take it just like I did my dinner rolls, and I just kind of create a nice little puff. See if you can see that. Spin it around a little and shape it into a nice ball. And then, when I've got my nice little dough ball here, I'm going to take it over, and I've got a mess over here, just take it over to my cookie tray. Give it a good spray. And then I'm going to go ahead and with my dough ball here, I'm going to flatten it with my hand. Now these might need a couple of flattenings. I'd have to do this a couple of times in order to get it down, because it's going to want to bounce back up on you. And try to keep it as round as you can, but you know, it's a homemade roll, right? It doesn't have to be perfect. That's part of the beauty. And then what you're going to do is once you flatten it, you're going to come over here and put it on your pan. Now we'll come back to that. I'm going to make another one here just to show you. Pulling, pulling, pulling to make a nice little ball. I pinch underneath and then I roll and I get a nice ball shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and flatten, and when I get all of these made, I will come back and show you my next step. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so after we have them on our sheet, I'm just going to hit each one with a little bit of spray so it doesn't stick. Then I'm going to cover it. I use little cotton gauze cloths. I'm going to cover it. The spray basically guarantees that they don't dry out. And these are going to rise again for another hour. And then after that, we'll come back and we will top them off with some melted butter. And yeah, we'll put them in the oven to bake. So I'm just going to set them over here. Put them back in the oven under the light. And let those rise for another hour. So I'll be back once the second rise is over. Okay, can you see? Alright, here's my bread. Can you see my bread, Luke? Mm-hmm. You can? Is that better? Mm-hmm. Ah, thank you. Okay, so here are my bread rolls. Now, we don't want to push them down anymore because they're on that 1 hour rise. But what we do want to do now is top and coat the tops of these with melted butter. Now you don't want to press too hard because you don't want to deflate your hamburger buns. So with a gentle hand, we're going to go ahead and butter the tops. Now, I'm going to treat the boys today, and I'm going to make these sesame seed hamburger buns. Are you excited, Luke? Yeah. Luke is in the kitchen with me. He's helping me. He's my cleaner-upper. I'm a great cook and a terrible cleaner-upper, right, Luke? Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and add butter to all of these. This is where these silicone brushes come in handy. I did not have one for the longest time. Quite frankly, every time I went shopping, I just always forgot to pick one up. And I picked this one up. It's nothing fancy. There's my cloth diapers. I picked this one up at Bed Bath & Beyond for a little over $1. So you do not have to get fancy expensive ones. I know some of them, the prices are just scary. And it's a brush. I mean, it's a brush. Why is it $10? I don't know. But anyway, alright, I digress. So I've got some, I don't know if you guys can see this, hopefully you can, some McCormick's toasted sesame seeds. And this is the time where you're going to coat the tops of your buns with some beautiful sesame seeds or black poppy seeds. And then we are going to bake these in a 350-degree oven. And I have to double check to make sure how long, but I do believe it's 20 to 25 minutes. And then when these come back out of the oven, we are going to coat them again in melted butter. So this was about 2 tablespoons, give or take. I'm going to go ahead and melt up another 2 tablespoons fresh once these are done baking. So I'm going to go ahead and take these over to my oven, which is preheated. Here is my homemade barbecue sauce and my leftover chicken from last night that I just did in another video. That's warming up. I've got a nice salad and antipasto that I made last night. I made a double batch, so we have it again for tonight. So we're going to have this. We're going to have a nice salad, and I'm going to make some roasted Yukon Gold potatoes cut up and put with some salt. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven. Let me double check my book here. My handy dandy recipe book. And it's 15 to 18 minutes, so not even that long. So 15 to 18 minutes, we're going to bake this. And when these are done, I will come back and show you guys the final step. Okay guys, my timer has gone off. And my hamburger buns look beautiful. Yes, indeed they do. Okay, let me go ahead and melt some butter, and I will be right back and show you my final step. Okay, guys, so what I like to do is just divide some of these sometimes grow together. I just like to pinch them off. Divide them up there. And one right there. Okay. And then the final step here, so we're just going to take our butter, and one more time we are just going to, oh so gently, so we don't want to take off those seeds. I'm just going to coat the tops of this with butter, and the butter will actually help keep the seeds on as this cools. Seeds, I have found the biggest struggle of making breads and rolls is to get those seeds to stick. I swear, sometimes they're buggers. But this, adding the butter is what is going to make this hamburger bun very, very soft. Not like a roll. It's going to be very soft. And I swear, once you eat one of these, you are never going to buy store-bought hamburger buns again. They are just going to taste terrible to you. At least they do for me. I just, once you've eaten homemade fresh bread, my kids tease because they say it always smells like Subway in my house. But that's because there's always the scent of fresh bread. And once you get used to eating fresh bread, it's just really hard to go back. And I apologize if I am really sucking at videotaping this. Oh, I hear a seed fell on the floor. No! And then we're just going to let these cool and set up. And then when I go ahead and I make a barbecue sandwich with these, I will come back and show you what it's like once I break into it. But can you see that? Like, that is not like your typical dinner roll. That is a, I don't know if I can get you to see that. That is a super soft, oh, it's just super soft roll. So that's going to be good stuff, guys. Alright, when I'm ready to serve, I will be back to show you guys what this looks like with some barbecued pulled chicken on it. Alright, we'll be back.
Here we go.
Okay.
Ready.
So, here's the hamburger buns all done. The kids are coming in. It's been a really nice day here in Michigan. And I just want to show how soft these are.
Yeah.
These aren't like a dinner roll where they're crispy. So,
which one are you gonna use for me?
Which one do you want, Daddy?
It doesn't matter. I was gonna say I'm just gonna. I mean, they're just like airy and fluffy. I mean, look at that.
It's like
airy and fluffy.
It's like a hamburger bun that you would buy.
Phenomenal.
Which was hard. You know, that's why I love Noreen.
No, it's like a hamburger bun fresh baked out of bakery.
Yeah, that's why I love Noreen's recipe for this, because she just nailed it.
There's not a store-bought hamburger bun that looks, smells, or feels like this at all.
No. So here it is, cut open.
Great.
And you can see how soft it is. So let me grab a plate real fast, Daddy.
I don't want them wrecking stuff.
Grab a roll.
Okay.
And you can follow me over to the
Good. I got you.
where I made the barbecue chicken.
Can you pick him up, Zach, please?
And I'm going to put this off to the side just a little. And we're just going to scoop some in here. And that is it. We're going to serve this with some Nathan's pickles. And we have some, yeah, this is all done now. I was going to make like a French fried potato to go with this, but we had leftover of this, and we have a salad. This is a red skin mashed potato. And we have a fresh salad, and we'll have some pickles, and that's
Beautiful.
it. Here. That's it.
Oh. Bam! We're ready to roll out and eat.
Do you want to try it? This one will be yours. Oh, just a good thick fork here. Alright, Daddy.
Of course, Caesar. Mmm. Just as good.
Oh, you're going to lift it? You're going to lift it?
Oh, yeah. Mmm.
Good?
So soft.
So soft. It's a good bun.
Good.
It's a good bun.
So good.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed
delicious. Put homemade barbecue sauce on the pork.
Yeah. Well, this is chicken. This is from last night.
Chicken?
Yeah, from last night's dinner.
Wow.
Yeah, we got to use 2 uses out of it for 15 bucks
chicken?
or whatever.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
What was so tender last night, it almost like, I mean, you didn't even need a knife. It just fell into
apart.
little tiny chunks, and so
Yeah.
it must have been really easy just to warm up.
All right, guys, if you try this, comment below and go check out Noreen's original video. All right, guys.